Hey y'all, it's Necey Dixon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are returning, y'all, welcome back. Okay. Woo, child. Y'all. Give me a second, okay? Welcome to the second installment of Brunch at Necey's. Y'all be sure to use the hashtag Brunch at Necey so people know what we doing over here. We got our mimosas, and y'all was running like a chicken with my head cut off this morning. Oh my gosh, running like a chicken with my head cut off. I was struggling. I'm still having a battle with this bun on top of my head because I was trying to make sure that it was straight, but it's, we don't want to be straight. Y'all have had the morning, but we've had some good episodes. Y'all also tell me if my sound is much more clear. Your girl invested and I got a microphone thanks to y'all supporting my channel. Uh-oh. I told y'all I was struggling. Let me turn my phone on silent. I'm sorry, y'all. So anyway, y'all, I told y'all I was struggling this morning, but I'm here. I made it. We thank God for another day. Some more reality TV. I have some things that I am working on, y'all. For one, I'm working on merch. Specifically Necey Hive merch and specifically Brunch Squad merch, because this right here is the Brunch Squad. So let me go ahead and say hey to all y'all who are in the chat. Shout out to Sam J. Hey girl. Oh, I love seeing y'all in the chat. Shout out to Julia Jules. Julia, you're a real one, because yesterday I scheduled my live for yesterday on accident when the live was actually supposed to be scheduled for today, but Julia held it down. And Josiah's World TV, I miss you too. What's up, y'all? Let's get into the episodes. I ain't gonna hold y'all. But what I am gonna do before we start is I'm gonna take a sip. I have questions for every single episode for y'all now, because we got some things to talk about. And I might need to sneeze, so give me 1 second. Okay, we back. We back. So this is the reality TV roundup, y'all. We like to cover Put a Ring on It, Love and Marriage Huntsville, and Love After Lockup. Love and Marriage Huntsville is always going to be last because that's the best show in my opinion. I feel like I love Love and Marriage Huntsville just because they are so real. They regular people on reality TV with crazily regular people problems. Everybody know, y'all know somebody who didn't have the outside baby and all that extra bullshit. So that's why I love it so much. Okay. But yeah, let's go ahead and start out with Put a Ring on It. You know, sometimes I go back and forth and I'm like, should we start with Put a Ring on It or should we start with Love After Lockup? But the best advice I got from somebody not even pertaining to YouTube was to go ahead and make a poop sandwich. So you're going to start with something good. You're going to start with something that's not so good. And then you're going to finish with something that's good to overall give a great show. So we're going to start out with Put a Ring on It, because I feel like that was good. This was a continuation of the bullshit between Alexia and Darien. And before we get started, yes, chat, I want y'all to go ahead and answer that question on the thumbnail. Is Alexia done? And then I'll tell y'all what I think. So chat, go ahead. Let me know. Is Alexia done? Yes or no? Answer the question. Do, 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 do. Yes, Fedora. Clink, clink. Is Alexia done? And then I'll tell y'all what I think. Okay. Fedora says Alexia is not done. Shaking my head. Diana says no, Alexia is not done. Sam J says done, period. Jeannie Porter says no, she's not done. Julia says that she is scared and no. Alicia Garcia says no, Alexia is not done. Y'all, I think that Alexia is at a turning point. Reason being, okay, I was on Instagram this week and I saw that Alexia has been doing lives with Ashley from season 1, Put a Ring on It. And they also went to like a skate party together. And I feel like they formed some sort of a sisterhood of singleness. I think she's done. And another reason, this was the biggest indicator, y'all. Alexia was wearing a closure. And I'm not even trying to be funny, but she's no longer doing that leave out, y'all. It's the reason for it. I feel like for Alexia, you know, whenever they say that a woman goes through a change, sometimes it's like you go and you cut your hair or you go and you dye your hair blonde. Alexia went and got a closure. So I think she's done. We are going to start the episode. Well, let me clarify before y'all light me up. I think that she's on her way to be done. In this episode that we just saw, I don't think she's done. I think she's going into the same cycle as Dr. Nicole said. Shout out to Dr. Nicole, okay? Because you really can incite change when you are a doctor on a show where people need therapy. Shoot, Ayana used to do it, and I think she was just a life coach, but she used to do it, okay? Some of her practices were a little bit odd, but she used to get shit done. So Dr. Nicole is getting shit done. So I think that this is the episode that incites change in Alexia. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Lex walks out, y'all. This is a continuation of the last episode where Lex walks out. And she's really just saying to Darien, give me a minute. And Darien's just saying to her, why are you letting that girl get to you? Talking with his eyes closed. Y'all, my eyelashes ain't even all the way dry. So bear with me. Y'all gonna get the real me 110%. Anyway, Lex walks out to the car and she's mad, y'all. She's super mad. She's just saying, give me a minute. Darien's on that bullshit. Why are you letting this girl get to you? And my thing is, Darien, you are so damn simple-minded and you know how to fine-tune Lex. You know that the issue is not with the damn female. The issue is the way that you are moving. But y'all, I'm not going to talk about this episode without also giving Alexia a lot of the blame. I feel like the decisions that Darien has made are just a part of the process. And I feel like she's getting more so upset, like she said in her confessional, that she's seeing how he really moves. So that's why I say that I feel like this episode incites change, because she tries to go back into the same cycle of bullshit, of Darien doing this, her telling him you got to do this, is left or right. And then she continues down the same loophole. But I think this time is going to be different because Dr. Nicole put them both in their place. So whenever they come back inside, she first says, yeah, you know, I want to congratulate y'all for coming back inside. It takes a lot of courage, yada, yada, yada. But y'all, did y'all peep how she was talking to the other couples? And she says, people sabotage their relationships every day by doing blah, 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 blah. And when she said that, I was like, I wonder if she sees the self-sabotaging on both sides. And I'm going to say yes. Reason being, Lex is sabotaging her own situation. I'm not even going to say relationship. Lex is sabotaging her own situation because you continue to create these parameters that Darien has to abide by. So in your mind, you think that y'all are gradually getting towards a ring and you're not. Example. In this situation, towards the end of the episode, and we'll talk about it in more depth, she basically gives him an ultimatum and says, I thought that I was your priority. So she comes to, you know, a two-fork road, and she says to Darien, choose me over Kai. Okay, he's been choosing you, though, but not in the capacity at which you want it, which is a ring, which you don't have, and you still may not have if he ends up choosing you over Kai. So you're putting yourself in the same situation, sabotaging your same situation only to be back where you are. So do you want change or do you not want change? Like Dr. Nicole is saying. Now, Darien, on the other hand, let me take a sip. Darien, on the other hand, is sabotaging his relationship because you're full of shit, okay? You're full of shit. That's all I have to say. And it gets to a point in time with all of these series where we watch the show, we find out that one of the partners is full of shit, and we you know, basically light up that partner the whole time. We give them all the heat. And then after a few episodes, we see, well, The co-partner is allowing this shit to happen. And I'm saying partner because it can be male or female. So I feel like that's where I'm at with Lex. Like, girl, change something. Or, just stop talking about it, honestly. So pretty much what we find out is that everybody gets to go on a date this week except for Eric and LaRonda. So yeah, let's move on and then we'll get back to Alexia and Darien and more death. So this is right after all the couples leave the house. LaRonda and Sean are in the car. And keep in mind, y'all, Sean has just made the decision to go on a third date with Brittany, who y'all see in the pictures below. LaRonda's feeling some type of way, and this is where she reveals that she doesn't believe that Sean has been faithful in any of his relationships before her. What I thought was funny was that LaRonda was like, I don't believe. And then later on in the episode, Sean most definitely ends up telling us that he has never been faithful in any relationship for 33 years. So it's very funny to me that couples decide to come on this show and they still kind of get hesitant about what information they're going to share. Now, my thing is, if you're on any old reality TV show, fine, there's some things that you don't want to share with the world. But if you're on a TV show to talk about your relationship, don't you think that we should have known that this man has never been faithful in a relationship? So part of me was thinking like, y'all, ain't no way Sean is going to leave LaRonda because LaRonda works a 9 to 5 and she gets a monthly salary. Where on the other hand, Brittany and him are both hustlers. They're both entrepreneurs. Neither one of y'all has made it yet. I'm not saying you won't make it, but y'all need somebody to have steady income. So part of me was like, nah, he ain't leaving LaRonda. So who knows, y'all? But pretty much LaRonda says that she just feels a little bit disrespected. So now let's go ahead and get into the date with Sean and Brittany. So Brittany, Brittany's so cute. I love her bubbly little personality. I think her and Sean would be a cool little match, but honestly, Sean does not need to be matched with anybody. He's a emotional manipulator. He has a lot of childhood trauma that he has to work out. And while I did notice a lot of the manipulation that Sean was doing to LaRonda was doing it back to Sean in return. For example, y'all, last episode, I feel like LaRonda only decided not to go on another date with Sir James. Reason being because she wanted Sean to do the same thing. Because in my opinion, I didn't see anything wrong with Sir James other than the fact that his last relationship, he had been cheated on. So it's a possibility that Sir James would have had some insecurities as well. But my thing is like, we all got insecurities, y'all. I think LaRonda was just looking for an excuse to try to convince Sean not to go on another date with Brittany. So both of y'all is on some bullshit. And just like Dr. Nicole pointed out to Lex, all these couples keep going in cycles. So there has to be like something in this process to incite some change, whether that's you going on 5-6 dates with somebody and, really being tempted, or, somebody all out cheating. Okay. Just like the mother show Temptation Island. It is what it is. That's what you go on the show for. Now I got another question for y'all. And this has to do with Darien and Kai. Comment section. Y'all tell me, do y'all think that Darien and Kai have been more physical than friends? Okay, now whether that be physical or kissing or anything like that, y'all let me know because they look so comfortable. It's almost uncomfortable for me to watch. It's like your man is all out here with this woman like that's his girl. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Anyway, back to Sean and Brittany. When Sean and Brittany are on this date, Brittany asked him, why am I on a third date? And he basically says, I feel like you're making it tough. And this is what I really didn't like about Sean. Sean was on his way to get back into that same pattern of cheating because he ends up saying to Brittany, you're so silly. I love it though. And she says, I like you too. And he says, yeah, but I said, love it. That childish ass shit. But I said, love it. You're not going to say it back to me, blah, blah, blah. And then she ends up saying, yeah, but that's what you meant. You meant you like it. And when she said that, I was like, yes, Brittany, guess who not going to get played for a fool? You. Okay. Sean, I feel like he felt himself going back into that cycle of potentially cheating. He was just having a little bit too much fun. So here goes the live chat. Let me hop over to the chat box and see what y'all are talking about. Y'all are answering my question on Darien and Kai. Now, I asked y'all for the replay gang if y'all thought that Darien and Kai were a little bit more physical than friends. Natavia says yes. Diana says yes, definitely. Denise says yes, he is a touchy guy. Crystal says Kia clearly sat on it. Period. I feel you on that because that's exactly what it's looking like. So yeah, Sean feels himself going back into this cycle of cheating, and I definitely think he would have. But my thing is also like, LaRonda asked herself, does she feel like she's potentially giving Sean too much trust? If he gonna cheat, he gonna cheat. Okay. If he gonna cheat, he gonna cheat. And like we say all the time on the Ooh Ladies First panel, me and Bonnie was talking about it on one of the lives. A man cannot be kept. Okay. I hate when people say that word. Oh, you can't keep a man. A man cannot be kept. He's gonna do what he wants to do. If he feels like there's something in the streets for him, go be for the streets, but don't come over here with me. That's all I gotta say. So LaRonda, I need you to get that out your mind that you feel like you may need to keep Sean. Let him go back into the lion's den like they continue to talk about. And, it just is what it is. That's what you came on the show for. So now let's get into Alexia and Darien again. This whole episode was about Alexia and Darien. I knew from the moment that I saw Darien on screen that he was going to be a fool. I knew he was. And part of me just knew that Alexia had to be foolish for being with him. But Alexia really is smart. She's smart. And it's dangerous when you're so smart that you can convince yourself of what you want to convince yourself of. Let me take a sip. Toast. Y'all take a sip with me real quick. Okay, I'm getting a little parched talking about them. We only on show 1. What's up, Nana P? So, yes, Alexia and Darien. It's the next day. And Darien wants to apologize to Alexia for what he put her through. And I think this shit was hilarious because I don't feel that he really had that conversation to actually apologize, because he ends up saying, I want to apologize for what I did wrong, but I also don't want to have this conversation unless you apologize for what you did wrong. And I hate when people do that shit. If you want to come to me and apologize, come to me and apologize. Don't step to me on some, hey, let's just call it quits. Let's just call it a tie. No. And that's why I screenshotted Alexia's face, because Alexia was like, for what I did wrong. No, Alexia is not handling his decisions the way that she should. But ultimately, I don't think she did anything wrong, because you playing in her face like she's a fucking fool. Now, she's, I don't even know if I should have said that. Am I going to get flagged for that? Let me chill out. Let me chill out. But you're playing in her face like she's a damn fool, okay? And she's allowing you to. So that's why I'm rooting for her. So anyway, he didn't feel like his honesty was respected, and it wasn't. And ultimately, she just says, you know what? I don't want to talk about it. He says, I hope you have a good time on your date. And she says, I will. So let's go on to this date with Monty and Alexia. Yo, this date was so cute. This date made me so happy for Alexia, because I felt like I finally saw the potential of her being with somebody other than Darien. But I am a little bit concerned that maybe she only went so hard on this date because Darien had pissed her off. But even if that is the case, I'm just happy that she put herself out there. I'm happy that Monty had her in a space in which she was comfortable, because I don't know if it was just me, but I literally hated seeing Alexia walk around in skinny jeans and heels and just hunching on these other dates where she almost seemed a little bit uncomfortable. This date, she was in her zone. She was talking her shit. She was sitting with her legs open, sipping her Gatorade. She was chewing with her mouth open. Like, she was comfortable. So yeah, I mean, I love, an athletic woman, but the dressy dates definitely were not for her at all. So next, y'all. On this day, what we find out about Monty is a mechanical engineer. And, she doesn't talk about Darien at all. Anytime he asks her questions about herself, she's answering what she likes to do. She's not sitting there, oh, well, I've been in a relationship for 14 years and Darien XYZ. And that's when I was, I was really proud of Alexia. Literally last week on Twitter, y'all, I was watching the show and I just said, Alexia, I want more for you. That's because I really like you, Alexia. I want more for you and I want you to go out and get it without the distraction of Darien. So what we also find out about Monty is that he's divorced and that he wants a family. And I think he said he had 1 or 2 daughters. And Alexia was really happy about that he wanted to have more kids, because what Alexia wants is a family. So I feel like the 14 years that you have wasted on Darien, you're holding it as if she's just really wanting to pay off. And I feel like the 14 years don't credit you anything, Alexia, at all. The 3 kids that you done stood by his side on don't credit you anything at all. You being a down ass chick while y'all were on and off, while he was famous for a little bit and then he retreated into who is that, don't credit you anything. So that's why I feel like you should really just move on and, go get what is yours, because I feel like you really deserve this. Alexia seems like a really nice person. So while Alexia is on her date, and y'all keep in mind the conversation that Darien and Alexia just had, Alexia did not want to have any conversation with Darien about what had happened the day before, because she's like, I ain't got nothing to say to you, right? So Darien goes on to Dr. Nicole, and he basically is saying, like, I need your help. I need your help. And at first I was like, you know what? This is very big of Darien. Maybe he does really care. But ultimately, y'all, he went to Dr. Nicole to find out who is this new Lex. Lex is starting to open up her eyes. Lex is not being so easily swayed by the picture that he's painting, and he has an issue with it. I think Darien is beginning to shake in his boots because he's eventually thinking about a reality without Lex. He's so used to having her in his corner through all his bullshit. And now, since she really is just like, I don't have the time for it, he's scared. So he's coming to Dr. Nicole and talking to Dr. Nicole about it. So anyway, Dr. Nicole ends up saying to him, ultimately, if you don't want her thick-skinned, then you need to create a safe space. You need to make her comfortable. And that's not what he's doing. He's like, oh, since I'm a verbal person, I feel like she should be verbal too. Whatever. Okay. So I feel like Dr. Nicole sees exactly what's going on. I would love to have Dr. Nicole on the Ooh Ladies First panel, but I don't know in what capacity she would be able to talk about these people, because she's like technically their therapist, but it is on reality TV. So we should definitely try to get her on the channel. But anyway, y'all, Dr. Nicole know he on some bullshit. And she's like, create a safe space for her. But I really, really, really do feel like he just went there to try to figure out how he could further manipulate her into staying. Like, oh, she tripping. What do I do? Not what you're doing. Make a change. So next, y'all, Darien goes on his date with Kai. And Kai ends up giving him an ultimatum with her thick ass. I always got to say Kai's thick ass, because you can't just say Kai's thick ass, okay? She's there and she's talking to Darien. And she says to him, this is our 4th date. And the reason being, you are holding on to something that you might need to let go of. And that's when Darien ultimately gets annoyed. He's basically saying, you got to respect my situation. Who else am I going to go to for help if it's not you? And that's when she stands up and she says, do I look like the help? Do I look at my thick ass? Do I look like the help? And whenever she stood up and showed her whole body, part of me was like, girl, does Kai think that Darien is famous too? I don't understand why you would be fighting so hard for a man who operates this way when he's in a relationship. I would never be interested in a man who moves so disrespectfully. And what I mean by disrespectful is even down to the way that he walks into these damn dates and he's holding your hands. Wouldn't be my man. Could never. So what do you want from him? I'm sure Darien still has a pretty nice check because he has that song Georgia with Ludacris, which was an amazing song. Now, anybody from Georgia, y'all tell me, isn't that like y'all's anthem, or do y'all have another anthem? And then he also has that one song with Sierra, So What? He gets paid off, he gets royalties from streams and everything else. I'm sure he has a little bit of money, and that's probably what Kai is holding on to. But the thing is, for the side chicks, one thing you never want to do is give a man an ultimatum. Okay. So honestly, when you come on this show, your role is to be the help. Your role is to help him process his feelings, give him the space to ultimately decide what he wants to do. The reason why he came on this show is because he was given an ultimatum. Be with me, put a ring on it, or I'm leaving. So you think that they want to hear an ultimatum from somebody who they've been dating for 4 weeks and he done been with this woman for 14 years? Girl, goodbye. Good night. So on top of that, one thing that I appreciated that Darien said about Kai was, not Kai, I'm sorry. Kai ends up saying to Darien, well, you continue to make decisions, but you don't consider me. Girl, since when have you been a partner in this 14-year relationship? You're a 4-week friend. Why should he consider your feelings when this show is about him and you are hired to come on this show and be the help and date? So one of the things that I appreciated that Darien said was, but I love Lex. Now, I really appreciated him drawing a line. However, do I think that it carries any weight? Not at all, because I don't think it's going to change the way he moves in his relationship. And the person who's going to have to call this relationship quits is Lex. So Lex, do what you got to do. Kai, don't ever give no man an ultimatum if you've been around for 4 weeks and you just a side chick. I know you're trying to secure a bag, but this bag ain't it. And I'm sure your thick ass could find somebody else to get a bag from because you're a beautiful woman. Just not this fool. Now we're going to move on to the next bag. Yes, thank you, Josiah's World TV. If you're enjoying the live stream, please be sure to like and share the video. Another thing that I've been telling y'all, be sure to hashtag brunch at Necey's on social media and share your favorite clips from the video because we do this every single Sunday. So I hope y'all are enjoying it. I hope y'all have a glass of wine, champagne, water, Gatorade, apple juice, whatever. And yeah, we're going to get on into it. So let me read this comment from KA. KA says, why don't women with side chick mentalities think the man won't do the same thing to them? Say it again. Why don't you think that the same things don't happen to them? Okay. You're going to lose them the same way that you got them. But if you want to be the fool, be the fool. So this is the date that I'm going to get into next. Y'all, Jessica goes on a date with Sean. Y'all tell me what y'all thought about Sean. Okay. They continuously try to pair her with men who have that fuckboy aesthetic. And when I say that hat, I feel like Future in 2016, 2017 literally branded the hat, t-shirt, and Chelsea boots as the F-boy outfit. So anytime I see a man in the F-boy hat, I immediately want to turn the other way because, you know, back in 2016, 2017, whenever they was wearing them hats, I was like, ooh, he can dress. Oh, okay, that's cute or whatever. Now, when I see them in the F-boy hats, I'll be like, you can't really dress. You just went in, you went and bought the code. You know the F-boy code, and that's what you gonna go by. Now, another thing about Sean, when he came on the camera and he was just talking all energetically, real, happy-go-lucky, almost a little bit flamboyant, I ain't gonna lie, I was like, this date is gonna be horrible. No way they're going to match at all. I literally was like, nah, they're not going to match. He's not masculine enough for her. He's very, he just gave friend vibes to me. So they go on a tequila tasting date. And to my surprise, Jessica is interested in Sean. But y'all want to know the reason why I think Jessica was interested in Sean? She was probably not really tripping on his ass until he said, I sell luxury real estate. And when he said, I sell luxury real estate, she said, oh, really? Oh, really? She saw dollar signs. Now, y'all, I told y'all this last date that she went on with Clarence. I thought Clarence was a good dude, even though I felt like his nose ring made him look like a male stripper. He was a good dude, had a six-pack, nice body, real nice, real caring. He knew what he wanted in a relationship, right? But he didn't have the bag. He was a professional bodybuilder. And I don't know if that carries the same weight of dealing with an NFL player, i.e. Eric, or ex-NFL player. He has a bag to sit on. Now, luxury real estate, you might be able to live that same lifestyle. And I feel like that's what we got from her interest in Sean. Not only that, we find out even more why she moves the way that she moves. Sean reveals that he has two daughters. And similar to Sean, Jessica has 2 daughters as well that we did not know about. The oldest one is 12 and the youngest one is 8. So I feel like when it comes to a lot of these Instagram baddies or the girls who deal with men in the industry, in the league, oftentimes they single and they want to come up. Or they're single, they have a baby by somebody in the NFL so they can secure a bag, or you have 2 kids that you got to go get a bag for. And we've seen it with Carly Red. We've seen it with Evelyn Lozada, women who have children. And in order to put your children in a safe and secure position, you need a man that comes with a certain amount of money. And I feel like that's exactly what we got from Jessica. So y'all tell me. I definitely thought that she perked up when he said luxury real estate. She said, oh, okay, I think I can work with that. Damn. Okay, Monique King has checked out Jessica on Instagram. I haven't. Monique King says that Jessica has 141,000 followers on Instagram and no clothes on. She follows $signs. Ooh, tragic. I did not know that. But I definitely think that she wants the bag. So yes, we can agree on that. The date to me was just okay. I feel like her connection with Clarence was even better, but it's the $signs that's getting Sean to the next date. So after that date, Eric and Jessica have a session with Dr. Nicole, and some things are revealed, y'all. Some things are revealed. So we find out that they split about a year ago. We had no clue why neither one of them trusted each other. I was like, this is real weird. I literally thought that it was Jessica with the trust issues. Now, when I watched this episode and this portion of it, I immediately felt just a little bit bad because I remember saying in the video that Eric is holding on to his player days like he's holding on to his hairline. Now, y'all. Eric still needs to let go of the hairline because I think he would be a handsome bald man. However, I don't know that he's necessarily trying to be a player. I feel like he's trying to protect his heart because of the way that Jessica moves. And we didn't find out how Jessica moved until this episode. So they split up a year ago. And during their split up, not even a week had gone by and she was already talking to another dude in the league. A dude that had been hitting her up on Instagram, and she says that she was entertaining him, not in person, but on Instagram, definitely. Eric ends up saying that they came to an agreement that once they got back together, she was supposed to block that dude, but she never did. And when that happened, I was like, Eric, the reason why she's not blocking that dude is because if y'all ever break up, she needs that security. She got 2 kids to take care of as well as herself. She got to keep her eyelashes done, her nails done, and everything else. So I really hate that if she isn't a city girl, that's definitely the perception. That's definitely the context clues that y'all gave us was that Jessica was a city girl. So yeah, I definitely see why Eric is protecting his heart and why he doesn't want to marry her. And that's also why he doesn't feel comfortable having deep conversations with her because their relationship probably never stemmed from that. Their relationship was probably always very physical, very surface level, as it is when you get these women who want to secure a bag and date dudes in the league. For some reason, I feel like maybe he's on the verge of really seeing the real her, but he doesn't necessarily want to commit to it because he's in the business of protecting his heart and protecting his bag because he knows that she can move on to somebody else. So let's see what y'all saying about Jessica. Julia says that Eric retired. Yes, pretty much. Nana says Jessica clarified that it wasn't a week. Probably wasn't that long though. I ain't shocked. Yeah, what else? Okay, let's move on. We're gonna move on to the meetup. So all the couples meet up, and this is what we get from each one of them. For LaRonda and Sean, Sean says that he almost drove to the concert because he felt bad for Britney, going on a date with him and then having to drive all the way to Florida afterwards. And to me, it seems like him and Britney have a really good connection, but because LaRonda feels so disrespected, I feel like she convinces him not to go on another date with Britney. So Sean makes a decision that he doesn't want a fourth date, and Dr. Nicole asks him why. And instead of saying he doesn't want to be tempted, he says, I don't want to build with her. Now, that's a simple way of saying, I know that something with her could be great, but because I've already put so much time in this relationship, I can't leave it. That's literally what he was saying. And I kind of wanted Dr. Nicole to force him to go on another date with Britney, just because I knew he was being swayed by the way LaRonda felt. And I don't feel like the couple should move like this when they come on the show. You want change, somebody gonna have to be uncomfortable, and it just is what the F it is. So next, y'all, Jessica and Sean. Jessica says that she had a really great time with Sean. And Eric, he doesn't mind. He's not jealous anymore. What he says is that, he knows that he's there for an end goal, and he hopes that these multiple dates will get her to an end goal so they'll see what the future holds. And Jessica says yes to a second date with Sean. So Alexia ends up saying that, her date with Monty was a movie and she wants to go on a second date. And, Darien really don't have nothing to say about it. What can you say about it? Because you don't gone on 4, almost 5 dates with Kaya thick ass anyway. So Darien's like, you know what? If she wants to go on another date with Darien, that's fine. This is the process. This is part of the process. Okay, bet. So they end up asking Darien, do you want to go on a fourth date? Or is this 4 or 5? I think it's 5, y'all. So they end up saying, do you want to go on a 5th date with Kai? And Darien says, nah, I don't want no problems. I don't want none of that. And he says that Kai is starting to catch feelings. And ultimately, he lets us know that Lex gave him an ultimatum. Lex gave him an ultimatum. She says to him, well, if he made that decision, then he did it on his own. That's a damn lie, because Darien basically says that you put him in a situation to where he had to choose between you or Kai. And this goes back to what Lex is saying when Lex says, I felt like I was priority and everybody else was second. What does that mean? What does that mean for you to be priority if a ring is what you want? A ring would make you priority. You're his girlfriend of 14 years at the end of the day. You came on a dating show for him to date other people. And if he wants to date Kai for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 episodes, that just is what it is. And that's why Dr. Nicole said, we don't have a problem. We don't. Your feelings are just hurt. So Dr. Nicole is like, y'all know what? Y'all doing a damn fool. I'm going to require for both of y'all to go on a date with each other. No dates with Kai, no dates with Monty. Y'all have to date each other. And Darien says, I'm cool with that. Well, of course you're cool with that, because you got Kai wrapped around your finger and she going to be there in the 6th week if you don't go on a date for the 5th week. And then you'll still have time to get Lex back under control so you can still be where you want to be, which is have both of these ladies in your hands. And Lex, on the other hand, this is the reason why I'm telling y'all, I think that she's on her way out the door. She ends up saying, I do not want to go on a date with Darien. And I don't blame you at all. Honestly, I think that was a bad idea. I think it was a good question for Dr. Nicole to ask, but for Lex to waste one of her dates with somebody who she actually connected with on Darien, we done. Goodbye. So I'm really happy that Lex says that she doesn't want to go on a date with Darien. I hope that Dr. Nicole respects her wishes and that she gets to go on another date with Monty, because I really need Lex to find herself. I really do. So let's see what y'all saying in the comments about put a ring on it. Let's see. Ooh, Aviana Tana says she thinks that I hit it right on the nose. Thanks, girl. Nana P says Sean is very corny to me. I don't know what it is. And drive to Florida for what? Girl, say it again. Sean is corny, but I think that comes with him being a comedian, especially when he was like, you so silly, but I love it though. I was like, boy, if you don't get your okay. So I thought that was very corny too. And then the drive to Florida for what? Britney, girl, get your ride to your concert. I don't think he was worth it. Just Jonda says that Eric is an F-boy. She was one of the several women, and she is the one who stuck it out when the rest of the groupies started ignoring him. Facts. I agree with that 110%. She's the one that stuck it out. So that's why he said when he was talking to Dr. Nicole, You got to be here through the good and the bad. So, for example, whenever he found out that he wasn't going to get picked up again to play in the NFL, she was the one who somewhat stuck around and then was ready to go find somebody else. So, who knows? Nana. She says Eric seems checked out. I think he does seem a little bit checked out whenever he said, I want her to go on this next day, and I hope that she's here for the same reasons I am, and that this is really just a part of the process. I think he really didn't care. Natavia says, how did Kai expect something from Darien after four weeks they were smashing? You think so? All right, y'all. So, Mods, will you please go ahead and timestamp that? We are about to get into Love After Lockup. Not very much happened this episode, so we're going to cover this real quick, and then we're going to move into Love and Marriage Huntsville. So my question for y'all on Love After Lockup, everybody needs a friend like Derek. What did y'all think about Derek this episode? Y'all think Derek was really just taking on the big brother role with Deontay, or what? How many of these women do y'all think that Derek has seen? Better yet, the ultimate question. Please answer this one. Do y'all think that Derek was a little bit disrespectful with Nicole? I don't. I don't think he was disrespectful with Nicole at all. Derek was like, my friend might be a damn fool, but I'm not. And that's definitely what he showed. So I'm not mad at it at all. I think that everybody needs a friend like Darien. So let's go ahead and start off with the first person. The first person who I'm going to show is Anissa. Y'all, I really was not even going to touch on Anissa, but this lady had me laughing my ass off. Reason being is because Jeff had a day pass where he can leave for 3 hours. So she goes to pick up Jeff from the halfway house. As soon as she hops out the car to walk across the street, she gets a phone call from Jeff. And Jeff ends up not being able to go because he has to get an ankle monitor put on his foot before he can leave. So she gets in the car and she's like, I thought I was going to get laid today. I haven't had sex in 6 years. And when she said 6 years, I said, oh, honey, she hasn't had sex since she was 45, because the woman's 51 at this point. Ma'am, I feel for you. She said, I deserve to get laid, and that you do. But at that point in time in which you decide to get laid by Jeff, I feel like you probably could have got laid by anybody on the street. You could have went into a bar. You could have went into a coffee shop. You could have went into the damn library, and you probably would have found somebody who didn't look like they was on drugs for half of their life. No disrespect to Jeff. I hope that you came out and you're making a change. However, Anissa, ain't no reason to go 6 years because you waiting on a man who is currently locked up. Okay. So next, let's go on into Stan and Lisa. Stan and Lisa. Ooh, Lisa. I honestly think that you probably should have worn the wigs that Stan got you. The dude spent $1,300 on 3 wigs, and I think they look way better than the damn micro links that your ex-cellmate put into your hair. So anyway, Lisa's in a hotel, and basically I kind of started to feel bad for Lisa a little bit because she said that, I just got out of prison. I'm trying to take care of my kids, and I don't need somebody to knock me on my ass when I'm down. However, I feel like, Lisa, if you wanted to come out and be Mother of the Year, what you should have done was go see your kids. Stan would have been right there. However, similar to like what we were saying about Jessica, you got to find a way to secure a bag for your kids. And I feel like a lot of women look to men to change their life, to change their current circumstance. And especially you're a felon. I don't think that you could just go to community college and get any old regular job and suddenly make enough money to support your entire family. So I definitely see why you see Stan as a way out. Now, was Stan wrong? I don't think he was. I don't think Stan was wrong for telling you that you did not raise your kids right. I'm sure it hurt your feelings, but what you were trying to do in that moment was play him for a fool. You thought you was going to move your 22-year-old grown ass son into your sugar daddy's house. Now, that is not a part of the setup that Stan has made for you. That's not a part of the allowances or you living the lavish lifestyle that he will provide. He's not taking care of no grown ass man. So She comes to dinner for him to apologize. This time, Stan decides to lay off of the wine and just drink Coke. Because y'all know when Stan gets a little bit of wine in his system, he starts talking crazy and he becomes a different person. And pretty much he apologizes and says that he shouldn't have said that. She says, fine, you're going to reimburse me on the hotel. And ultimately, she ends up forgiving him. And she's going to be right back over at Stan's house. She really used that for an opportunity to get what she wanted out of him. So Lisa ends up saying it's something that, you know, her and Stan are going to have to talk about, her son. For me, if I was Stan, that's between you and your son. That ain't got nothing to do with me. That's a grown ass man. So let's go ahead and move on to Brittany and Ray. So we find out that Ray is finally able to leave the halfway house. It's been 2 months. I was like, wow, it's been 2 months. I wonder how long filming goes on for these people, because we literally seen him last episode when he was immediately released from prison. And now the very next week, he's getting released from the halfway house. So Brittany also reveals that she hasn't had sex in 1.5 years. They've been doing lots of camera stuff. So I'm like, okay, get it how you live, sis. I ain't mad at you. But she's ready for Ray to come home. Her family, however, does not know that Ray is going to live with her when he gets out. So that will be real interesting to see. She also ends up lying on the phone to Ray, telling him that her family is excited to meet him. That's a lie. Your mom is treating him like he's a second-class citizen because he is a felon. But truth be told, y'all, I think that Ray is probably the most regular prisoner out of all the people on this show. And I actually think that Ray and Brittany might actually make it. I just have to see how Ray treats Brittany when he gets out. I feel like Ray and Brittany are definitely the circumstance where the free person is crazier than the person who actually went to jail. Ray just went to jail for selling a little, illegal substances, okay, with the intent to distribute. He a regular dude, okay? I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Now, Brittany is getting a kick out of having a man who's at home on house arrest, basically solitary confinement. I'm like, girl, you're crazy. Is something wrong? And that's definitely why you want to get him to come live with you. And he's not going to be able to leave you for the whole time that he's on house arrest. So that's why you're excited. So I'm actually a little bit more afraid for Ray and how Brittany might treat him rather than it being the other way around. So Ray is getting released from the halfway house and she goes to meet him. And y'all, this part took me out. Granny turned that corner. She said, whip, whip, whip. I'm picking up my grandson. She whipped that corner so hard. And not her sister, Brittany is like, well, I thought I was going to be the one to pick him up. So she runs over there to talk to the grandma. And I guess we'll find out next episode exactly why the grandma was there. Is he going to end up staying with Brittany? Is he going to end up staying with his grandma or what? We'll see. So y'all, let's get to these fools. But before we do so, please be sure to like the video while I take a while I take a sip of my champagne. Y'all know I got to do that every single video. Every time I mess up one of my words, y'all know I got to reset. So yeah, the fools that I'm discussing is Deontay and Nicole. So Nicole ends up leaving the hair salon. Deontay brings her back this cute little red dress or whatever so they can go to a bar. Now, what I didn't realize was that when Nicole was inviting her ex to hang out, I didn't know that this girl had the audacity to invite Tia to come hang out with Deontay. This is how you know this girl thinks that Deontay literally has no brain cells. And she also doesn't give a fuck at all. I was like, wow, you're inviting your ex to come hang out with Deontay. This is going to be funny. Woo! Wrong. Now, this may have worked if Derek wasn't there. But I feel like since Derek was there, he was calling her out on a lot of shit. And part of me wishes that Tia actually showed up because Derek would have lit them the F up. Now I'm here for Derek, okay? Whenever Deontay comes, well, shit, I'm just claiming it. I don't know if he's actually going to come. But if we get Deontay on the Ooh Ladies First panel, I want him to bring Derek. Derek is too smart. He's definitely giving me very much Dash. So they meet at the bar and Derek shows up. We get Deontay, Nicole, Audrey. Y'all see this girl over here going hard. She just want a free meal. And then we see Derek. So Derek is there ready to ask Nicole questions, and Deontay is being very sure on, don't go easy on my girl, man. Go easy on my girl. And Derek is saying, I don't give a damn. I'm going to ask her all the questions I want to ask. And he pretty much says, are you in love with him? She says, yes, I'm in love with him. I'm going to stick by his side. I'm going to be here. I'm going to do this. And he's like, oh, well, I think it's real funny. You've been out of prison, 3 days? And I ain't never heard this before. And now you're saying you love him. And it's basic questions where he knows that she's BSing. And Deontay doesn't want to hear any of it. Then she keeps looking around the bar, waiting for Tia to show up. Deontay says, who are you looking for? She says, I'm looking for my friend Tia. Derek immediately knows by the thirst at which Nicole is displaying that this has to be someone that Nicole has smashed before. Whether it be male or female, Derek is seeing right through it. So Derek says, did you sleep with her? And Nicole ends up saying, well, she never hit me with a strap, but she definitely ate my beep, beep, beep. That tequila was absolutely getting to you, Nicole, because not only did you have the audacity, but you were being bold as hell. You were being bold as hell and you did not care. So he says, how many people did you sleep with in prison? She says 4. Wow. And you didn't tell Deontay this whole time that she ain't been touched in 4 years. Wow. And then on top of that, your dumb friend, Audrey, I don't know if the girl's literally dumb, but this was a dumb move. She ends up saying, well, she was in a relationship with all 4 people. Wow. Okay. So not only had you lied to Deontay about not being physical with anyone for the past 4 years, which we knew was a lie, but it's just the fact that y'all are revealing all this stuff in front of Deontay. Not only do you reveal that you have been physical, but you reveal that you were in 4 relationships while you were in prison, while you were supposedly engaged to Deontay. Deontay, I really hope that you take this and you learn from this. I hope that y'all are following Deontay on Instagram, because I can tell y'all confidently that I don't think they're together at all. I know they're not together. Deontay definitely seems to be a very nice person. He's just so blinded by love and doesn't have the mental intelligence to peep when something's going on. His emotional feelings and wants overpower anything that goes on in his brain. So him and Nicole go outside and they're arguing while she's still on the phone trying to talk to Tia. Ultimately, Nicole ends up apologizing. And the way that she can make things better is he says, well, you still haven't spent the night with me. So she agrees to stay the night at his house. And I guess all Deontay wants is basically just to lay down with her. So when they make it to the house, it's super uncomfortable. She also reveals in her confessional that she has an ex-boyfriend named Zach, who's an actual dude. And she's been trying to talk to Zach. She wants to get her situation sorted out with with Tia and Zach before she does anything with Deontay. Now, another thing, she says, Deontay is an attractive person. I mean, he has a really nice teeth and eyes. Okay, bet, whatever, girl. And she ends up telling Deontay that she's going to go to sleep in the guest room and that she's not going to sleep with him. So that was her way of soothing him over. And I really hate that Deontay fell for it. Sir, I'm rooting for you, okay? But I'm going to need you to listen to your friend Derek. I really don't want to light your ass up. I really thought that it was a fetish, but Deontay says on his Instagram that he really doesn't have a fetish for white women. He loves women of all skin tones and colors. And I know that he has a crush on Miss Bondi Blue. So I guess he does like him, a black woman. But Deontay, I'm going to need you to start using your head and stop directing things with your heart. And I can't wait to see your mom next episode, because I want to find out why you are the way you are. All these people have something that happened to them. So let's move on to the last couple. So the last couple is Rachel and Doug. Doug is supposed to be on house arrest. He cannot leave the house besides going to work from 8 to 5. He can't leave the house at all on the weekends. However, his dad is sick. It's Father's Day weekend and he really don't give a damn. So he called his parole officer on the phone, told his parole officer that he was going to be going to Kalamazoo to go see his father. They pull up. And I knew everybody was going to be in the front yard because that's exactly how fools in the country do. I don't care if he's in Michigan, but you're in the country. Nobody's in the house. People are never in the house in the country. The doors are always open. I know because all my family's from Oklahoma and I'm super excited to go in a couple of weeks. But yeah, they country. And as soon as they pull up, everybody is in the front yard. So he's talking to his dad. His dad is sick. He has a certain stage of liver. I don't know if it's cancer, but it's definitely something going on with his livers and his liver. We find out that Doug's mom also holds a lot of resentment for him for going back to prison so many times. Y'all, I have to think so many things at once. I couldn't get my words straight. But Doug's mom resents him for repeatedly going to prison. So while he's there, y'all, we find out that little Dougie, actually lived with his sister, Ashley. And his sister, Ashley, says in front of everybody, do you want me to tell you what, diary or whatever I found underneath his bed? And basically, little Dougie is complaining about the quality of his life and everything else. So little Dougie is really embarrassed. And the sister Crystal ends up saying that the other sister, Ashley, mistreats little Dougie. And I'm going to believe that. I think he's much better off with Rachel. I hope that Rachel adopts him. Rachel seems to get along with his family, and I feel like he would still have a relationship with them, but he definitely needs a better quality of life. I don't see how Monique is funny. She said, I didn't know you were from Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, I knew that wasn't all Dallas swag. I'm actually born and raised in the Dallas area, but all my extended family is from Oklahoma. So anyway, I don't think that there's any benefit of little Dougie in a house where Big Dougie was raised and became a felon. And his sister's husband ended up being a felon, and y'all live off welfare. It's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is, why when he can have better? So I think that even if Rachel and Doug don't work out and Doug ends up going back to prison, I really think that Rachel could be a blessing in little Dougie's life. So I hope that, that little Dougie actually finds a home, a permanent home. Now they start arguing. He ends up calling his sister Crystal a bitch. And when he said that, I was like, damn, that's that toxic stuff I'm talking about. Little Dougie does not need to be around that. And the episode is to be continued. So y'all know what time it is. Be sure to like the video up. Reason being, because we're about to review the best of them all, Love and Marriage Huntsville. Now, y'all, I got a question. And this is what I want y'all to answer before we go into the review. What do y'all think Martell's tears were for? I do believe Martell's tears were real. However, when you deal with somebody who's lightweight a narcissist, someone who mentally you can tell they're just not there. It's something wrong with Martell. He's mentally just not there. And if he was mentally there, he would be able to admit to the things that he's done. And he would be able to move on from this. However, he hasn't been at all. So that's what tells me that Martell's mentally not there. Do I believe that he's sad? Yes. But is he sad because his lifestyle has changed, meaning his income has changed? Is he sad because he lost his wife? Or do y'all think that he's just sad because he's having to become the real life villain? He said he has no one in his corner. So y'all tell me what y'all think about Martell. Like the video up, and then we'll hop into the review. Mods, where we at on the likes? Okay, we are an hour in. Oh, I love brunch at Necey's, y'all. Be sure to use that hashtag. I love talking to y'all for this full hour over a glass of champagne and orange juice. And then we're going to go ahead and get into Love and Marriage. Ronald, be on it. Ronald says that Martell's tears were real, but he didn't want to admit his feelings in the moment in front of other people. Agreed. Jay Antoinette. Jay Antoinette says, I think Martell is not at the acceptance stage of grieving the loss of his marriage at his own hands. Facts, facts, facts. And that's the thing. And that's why I'm saying that he's not mentally there, because we've been looking at this happen for at least over a year. And every time we get close to him admitting he's wrong, he has to say something sideways. He has to say, Mel, you wasn't satisfying me, or you were cheating, or you were doing this, or you were doing that, or no, we wouldn't have been together anyway. And it's like, Martell, I would root for you if you sat in your shit, but you have never done that. I wouldn't even be mad at Mel if she went back to you if you sat in your shit. But I feel like at this point in time, you're too far gone. You've had too long to admit to your shit and you haven't done it. And for that reason, I don't want y'all back together. But who am I? Who cares? Who cares? If you did what you need to do, I would be here for it, but you haven't. KA says, Martell is sad because he knows he lost his preferred lifestyle with Mel. Definitely. Natavia says, he's sad because he lost everything and don't have no one to blame but himself, which he refuses to accept the blame. And that's why I feel like he's not mentally there. That's also why I feel like his character can be a little bit dangerous, because it's scary whenever you're dealing with somebody who literally cannot think logically. And I definitely saw why people drew the adjacency between Martell and Tisha, because they're both in their own little worlds. They both truly believe what the other one is saying. They think they're right. And I'm like, really? I just don't understand how people don't have the mental capacity to actually think logically. Come on. So let's go ahead and jump into the review. Love and Marriage Huntsville, season 3 or 4. I think it's 3, episode 2. Go ahead and like the video up. Now, y'all. Let me pull up my notes for this. The episode starts out with Maurice and Kimmy, and they are discussing Tisha. On the other side of things, we see Tisha and Maurice discussing, and Marcel discussing Kimmy. So what Maurice ends up saying to Kimmy, which I thought was really funny, was he says, if she wants you to be any other version of the Kimmy that you are, then she's going to be disappointed. And what Kimmy ends up saying, she starts laughing because she's like, you know what? I told her the same thing. I don't know who else to be other than myself. Tisha keeps using the excuse that she wants Kimmy to be a sister. And Kimmy's like, I can be your sister, but if you want me to be somebody who's not me, you're going to be sadly disappointed. So they both start to giggle about that, because literally Tisha has unrealistic expectations. And that's what I'm talking about. Whenever you're dealing with people who really cannot logically think just like regular, like how are you making up these scenarios in your mind to where you were right? Tisha and Martell definitely have some adjacencies, and it's dangerous to see, because not only do you look foolish in front of other people, or you have the ability to make other people look foolish, but you have, in a sort of a way, lost your sense of reality. And I feel like that's where Tisha is, and everybody is to blame for allowing her to lose touch with her sense of reality. Okay. So on the other side, we see Marcel and Tisha talking. And they're up there giggling about the graduation party, saying that it was a really good party because it was no Wanda, no drama. However, we still had Wanda Jr. there. And when I say Wanda Jr., I'm talking about Tisha's brother, this last picture at the bottom of the screen. So Marcel, ultimately, when it comes to Kimmy, he basically says to her, you can't worry too much about that. Like, it is what it is. And Tisha says, well, I gave Kimmy the expectations, and if she doesn't abide by them, it just is what it is. Abide expectations. Oh, girl, you are wild. And that's what I'm talking about. The sense of reality seems to be gone. I would love to know why Tisha thinks the way that she thinks, but I think that we would get better answers if we talk to her friends and family who allowed her to be that way. Now, another thing that I thought was funny as hell was whenever Marcel says that the entire family really just came for him. And they show this flashback clip. We see Wanda Jr. talking to Marcel, And he says, yeah, tell me about these rumors out here. And Martell was like, what rumors are you talking about? And Wanda Jr. says, tell me about the baby. What? And that's the thing, y'all. This is what Marceau meant when he said other side of the tracks, okay? And I can relate to this a lot. When you got country ass family members, when you got people who believe anything that they see on Facebook, online, it's hilarious. He literally said to him, tell me about the baby, as if there was an actual physical baby out there. Y'all tell me in the comment box, do y'all think that there really is a side baby from Marceau? I do not think so. I think it's just a rumor that people have came up with because a lot of people don't really like Tisha. So a lot of people would prefer for Tisha to be in the same situation as Mel. I would never wish that on any woman, but I don't think that Marceau has another side baby. So that's just what I'm talking about. Like, country ass folks, they just be saying stuff where you really sit there like, did you really just ask me that? Yeah, I hate it. Okay. So anyway, I just thought that was hilarious. And that was pretty much that. That was all that we really saw of Tisha and Marceau in the episode. I'm gonna go a little bit out of order because what I want to do is end with Mel and Martell in counseling. So we're gonna move on to Kimmy, Monster, and Maurice. So Monster is playing basketball. His dad comes home and we find out that Monster is at the age to where he can go to high school. He's about to go to 9th grade. And Maurice really wants him to focus on, you're at the point in time to where you need to work on becoming a man. So he says he wants him to put away childish things. And he says, so what are you going to do this summer to make money? Monster says that he's going to mow lawns, but he wants to mow lawns on a sitting and driving lawnmower, which I thought was cute. I'm like, boy, you are too funny. You want to find a way to make money with doing the least amount of work. Okay, bet. He'll grow out of that eventually. So they end up getting on FaceTime with Kiowa, and Monster tells his mom what high school he decided to go to. Now, while they end up having this conversation, Kimmy is sitting there on the side, and Maurice has not put the camera on Kimmy at all. And Kimmy's like, hey, I'm right here. Hey, sis, I just wanted to let you know that I'm a part of this co-parenting conversation as well. I ain't mad at it. I'm not mad at it. He lives with y'all. You are the stepmom, bonus mom. So I think you should be a part of those conversations as well. But I know that Maurice, he never knows what temperature Kiowa is on. So for that reason, Kimmy could possibly be a trigger. So that's probably why he doesn't really just like to immediately involve her in the conversations. However, Kimmy's your wife. Kiowa's going to have to throw a fit if she has to. Y'all are responsible for Monster, and it is what it is. But it's nice to see that once Monster leaves, Kimmy ends up saying that they're going to throw a graduation party for Monster and the cousins. And it seems like Kai was here for it. So she wants to have a conversation with both Kimmy and Maurice, which I love because she's including Kimmy. Kimmy definitely is the bonus parent to Monster. So I'm glad to see that she wants to talk to them on neutral grounds. And I think that something good will come from it. So y'all tell me what y'all think. So next, y'all, we're going to move on to Mel and Tiffany. So Tiffany is the new wife that has joined the cast. I don't know her husband's name just yet, but I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see what her and her husband bring to the cast. Reason being is because we interviewed Kimmy on Jay Lee's channel last Sunday. And when we interviewed Kimmy said that it was going to be interesting to see how this new couple tries to fit in with the group. Now, y'all know anytime somebody new comes on the show, you try to get in where you fit in. So one, you either try to be the middleman between two people who have drama, or two, you bring up some drama that wasn't on the show and then you bring it on the show and then people don't really like you for it. So that's typically how it goes. New people never have an easy introduction into the show. You have to bring drama or you have to insert yourself in the middle of drama. So I can't wait to see how Tiffany, introduces herself on the show. So Mel invites Tiffany to come to Destiny's birthday party. I'm sure all the ladies are going to be there because I don't think Destiny has beef with anybody now since she's hanging out with Kimmy. And I have to agree with you, KA. Kimmy really is the most sensible one. Ronald says Maurice be Maurice be trying to avoid the BS. Exactly. So yeah, I can't wait to see how Tiffany and her husband are introduced onto this show. But I was really hoping that we would get to know them before the third episode. But I guess we just gonna have to wait till next Saturday, y'all. So this is what else we're gonna get into. We are gonna get into Martell and Chris. So last episode, y'all know that Chris had stopped by Mel's office and he asked Mel if she wanted to build some houses on the 47 acres. The 47 acres has since been sold to investors, and Chris is still working with the investors on the 47 acres. So they need somebody to come out and build houses. Instead of Mel being petty, like Martell was trying to sell product in Destiny's store, Mel takes the high road and she ends up saying, you know, you need to talk to Martell about it. I don't want any drama with him about it. I know that he's very passionate about it, and just talk to your boy, right? So Chris invites Martell over. Martell shows up and, you know, they start with small talk. Yeah, the 47 acres closed. And Chris ends up saying, yeah, you know, I went and talked to Mel and I asked her if she wanted to build, but she told me to ask you. Martell. Oh, y'all, this is one of the ones where I really want to know y'all's opinion on it. Martell says that Chris should have came to him first, because it sounds to me like Martell is saying that he values putting his friends in higher places over business. And on Chris's side of things, he's saying to him it's a business. Chris is still working with the investors and he needs somebody to build houses. One of the things that I think will squash this entire argument is that Mel has a builder's license. Martell does not have a builder's license. Chris does not have a builder's license. So being that Melody was already involved in the project, I think that it makes perfect sense for the investor to ask if she wants to come build on the land. I don't think Chris was wrong for asking Mel if she wanted to build on the land. And I feel like he intentionally went to Mel before going to Martell because he knew that Martell would immediately say no. Either way it goes, even if Martell threw a fit, I'm glad the way that Mel decided to handle it, which was go talk to him, because she needed to get her coin anyway. I think she should be able to build on this thing. However, the reason why Martell was so hurt is because Martell ends up saying to Chris, you know my situation. Now, we know that based on his conversation with the counselor, he's not bringing in the same income that he was bringing in when he was with Melody. Now, whose fault is that? That's Martell's fault. And I'm not going to say because you cheated and had an outside baby that you should, you know, struggle financially. I don't think everybody does stuff wrong. However, Martell, if you would have just made your bed, laid in it, apologized, claimed your fifth child with a picture of that fifth child rather than posting a picture of the other child, or not the other child, of your child with Melody, you probably would have made it. People would have admired you. You and Mel could have found a way to co-parent like y'all are now, and you would have moved on. You would have admitted to your wrongs and people would have accepted it. I would much rather enjoy Martell if he just admitted to what he did. So I understand why he's upset with Chris, because Martell is like, you know, I'm struggling financially. You know, I have these conversations with you, and yet you're still going to go to my ex-wife and ask her if she wants to make some money when you know I need money in my pocket. So y'all tell me what y'all think about Chris. Let's see. N Major says Martell lost everything because of his ego, and he still refuses to take accountability for his action. He's still blaming Mel. Definitely, I agree. D says Martell is just salty that Melody can satisfy the contract and he cannot. Martell failed the test more than once. It's Shane says, why does Chris' business dealings have to be impacted because Martell cheated on his wife? This the one, and that's what I'm saying. Why should Chris's business dealings stop when he's the one that's still employed by the investor? The house has to be built. And my thing is like, if it wasn't going to be Melody building a house, who was it going to be? Because Martell, you don't have a builder's license. Chris does not have a builder's license. So why not go to somebody who already had the license? I agree with y'all 110%. Yes. Okay, and like Julia said, y'all go ahead and like the video up. We got 157 people in the chat. Like the video up. Be sure to comment and subscribe, y'all. We on the way to 7K. So, in my opinion, y'all, I understand why Martell feels the way that he feels. He's struggling. If I had been talking to my friend about my financial situation and I knew that my friend could possibly make it better, I would feel away. But in this situation, was Chris supposed to ask Martell to build? He doesn't have a builder's license. So that's why I go back to saying, it's just business. Chris has to close a deal. Chris is employed by the investors. He's not employed by Martell because y'all already sold the acre. So it is what it is. This comment I have to read from Shane. She says, I get that perspective as well. However, I do feel that Martell expects everyone else to modify their behavior on his behalf. He has not bent in the slightest way. And I'm a in that on that, okay? So next, y'all, we are going to finally talk about Melody and Martell. So Martell comes over to Mel's house. This is the first time that he's seen her house, and he wants to pick up the kids. I thought it was funny that Melody and Martell were lightweight matching because it kind of made me feel like, damn, Martell, you done messed up so much. Martell, if you had just done what you needed to do, maybe. I ain't even gonna say it. I ain't even gonna say it because I don't want them together. But they're a beautiful couple, okay? It is what it is. But Martell has a nasty ass personality, and I believe it's because something's not there. Something's not there. So anyway, they have a discussion about social media. And specifically, this is about the post that Martell made. He made a picture post with him and Melania, which is he and Mel's youngest child. And in the caption of that picture, that's when he decides to reveal that he has a fifth child. I'm going to say it over and over and over and over and over again. Martell is a father to that fifth child. Martell should be able to claim that fifth child. But for you to post a picture of Melania and use her as somewhat of a shield against people who were going to feel some type of way about you having a side baby, to me, is trifling as fuck. I don't think that you should have even posted a picture of Melania in reference to that fifth child. Melania doesn't even know that the fifth child exists. So that's why I feel like it was so irrelevant for you to do it in that way. You should have posted a picture of you and that fifth child. You should have posted a picture of you and the baby mama. You should have posted a picture of the baby's damn feet. I don't even care if we didn't get to see the baby's face, but you shouldn't have done it in that way. And you wanted to use Mel's child as a shield. And I think that part was very snake-like. It was very calculated. You should be a father, but I don't like the way you did it. So anyway, Mel brings up the interview with Funky Dineva. And I thought it was funny, y'all. Ooh, shout out to Shane. Thank you for becoming a new member, girl. Yes, hashtag Necey Hive. So y'all, what I feel like is, I lost my train of thought that quick, y'all. I got excited. That is too funny. Okay. So another thing is, y'all, last week I was talking to y'all about the interview that Mel did with Funky Dineva. So I was watching the interview live when it actually happened months ago. And that's whenever Martell kept interrupting Mel's interview, calling Funky Dineva on the phone. So that's why, even though I feel like we see a little bit of, I don't even want to call it redemption, but we see Martell moving in a way that's a little bit better than what he has. I also know that at this same exact time, he was calling Funky Dineva's line, trying to stop Melody from telling her truth. And I don't even think that Mel was bashing him in that interview. So I'm saying all this to say, I can't feel bad for Martell at all, and I don't feel bad for Martell. So what Mel ends up saying to Martell is, what we need to do is we need to discuss boundaries, or we need to go to counseling. Martell ultimately ends up deciding to go to counseling. And I wonder why they didn't go to counseling when they were married. I don't think they did. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, because I could definitely be wrong. I didn't watch the series from the beginning. I definitely binge watched and caught up. So y'all tell me, did they ever go to counseling? But now all of a sudden, Martell wants to go to counseling for the children. So Martell makes his way into the home after agreeing to go to counseling. And then he's greeted by Mel's mom. Y'all, this scene was hilarious. He reaches out to give his ex-mother-in-law a hug, and she is not here at all for Martell. What I thought was funny was he's sitting in there making small talk, and she ends up saying, "You've been very busy." And when she says busy, she means you've been busy creating children in different homes, okay? And Martell says, trying to be busy. And I believe that you're trying to be busy because you're trying to get your business dealings back up to what they were. And it's just very awkward. And she ends up saying, "Yeah, I've seen a lot of the stuff you posted. You know, it's an awkward silence." And Martell says, "Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha." And that's the part I thought was hilarious because he repeated himself 3 times saying the same word over and over again. And y'all know I love to analyze people. And he did that to basically fill the air. It was so awkward. He didn't know what else to say. And the gotcha, gotcha, gotcha was pretty much like, "Okay, kids, let's go. I'm ready to go." So she ends up saying, "You know, I've been seeing your post." And he says, "Well, you know, I've been responding to certain things." And that's what I can't get with. Martell, you did shit wrong, okay? Everything is not a response. A lot of the stuff you start out doing on your own, and I just wish that you would accept your shit without bringing somebody under the bus with you. It's irritating. However, I will say, with Mel's mom, I don't think that Mel's mom should have said anything to Martell, and I'm standing by it. Martell and Melody are already divorced. Their relationship is unrepairable at this point, at which we're seeing. And I don't think that the mother-in-law should have had anything to say. If you wanted to have a sit down with Martell, that should have happened before they decided to get a divorce. And whatever Martell does now, leave that between the kids. So that's just my opinion. I don't think that the parents should step in. I know as much as you want to protect your child, I just don't think you should have said anything at all. Y'all tell me exactly what y'all think. Do y'all think that Mel's mom was right for stepping in and trying to have a conversation with Martell, or what? I think that the in-laws definitely need to just be there as a support for the children. That's definitely what you should do. There says, "I agree. I agree. I don't think that she should jump in." Jay Antoinette says, "I agree. Keep the in-laws out of your business." And Diana D says she's agreed. So we all on the same page. I know you have good intentions, Mama Mel, but I don't think that that's the wrong road. Wrong road. Okay, this is a good point right here. You don't see Martell mama all in the business. Definitely not at all. So yeah, you should have kept that one out of there. And then Martell ultimately ends up saying, "Come on, kids, your grandma has her hand up and I don't like that, so let's go." And that's the manipulation that I'm talking about. Martell, for some reason, says in one of his confessionals that he feels like Melody is the reason why the kids knows that he cheated. Now, my thing is, it'd be one thing if you cheated and you didn't create another human. You created a child. The children are going to know that you cheated one way or another because they have a sibling out there. So quit trying to find somebody else to place your blame on. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because you're doing the same thing. You are trying to make the kid's grandma look crazy in front of the kids. So you're doing the same thing to other people that you claim you don't want done to you. So all of it is a shit show. I just think that the grandma shouldn't have said anything to Martell. I think Martell handled himself, but you shouldn't have said nothing to those kids at all. And that's the manipulation factor that I don't like. That's a part of the dangerous personality traits that I say that I don't like and that people should watch out for. So now we finally get to Melody and Martell going to counseling. And in counseling, they just get straight into it. How are the kids? Martell feels like the kids don't need a therapist. And immediately Mel is like, please, because he's not seeing the things that Mel sees because they're with Mel majority of the time. And Mel ends up saying, like, one of the kids writes a song saying, "Why did you go breaking my heart like that?" So y'all, part of me wonders, did the daughter write a heartbreak song because you have a #1 heartbreak song on hit radio? Or did she write the heartbreak song because she's jotting down the feelings that she feels about her dad? It could be one or the other, but I also think it's convenient that you have a song on the radio that's a heartbreak song. I mean, when I was really young, I used to sing sad songs all the time. I wasn't sad. I just used to emulate what I saw in the music videos and stuff like that. But I definitely think that the kids will need counseling. I think that Martell is overlooking a lot of things because he doesn't want to accept any trauma or any blame that he could potentially be putting on his children. So yeah, I really think it could be a combination of the two. But the best thing, just like Mel said, is don't wait until it's too late and the kids actually need counseling rather than trying to aid to the children's feelings as they come about. So we'll see. Tamiria says, I know the daughter was singing that song about her dad. I don't know. But just like Shane said, I'm really glad that Mel is advocating for the kids' mental health. Facts. Because just because you can't say you need a counselor just because you walking around crying, you can't get out of bed. That's definitely something that they should be taking care of as they go through this process. And Mel sees all of it because she has the kids all the time. So the counselor also says, what are one of those things that you feel like could be fixed? Like, what's just one or two things? And Mel easily says, well, whenever he's supposed to come pick up the kids, I feel like the night before, the day before, he hits me up on oh, y'all just keep doing what y'all doing. And I understand that's not cool. You'd never want to like set the expectation that the kid's father is supposed to come get them only on the day of the kids are waiting. And then you end up saying that you can't come. That's definitely a little bit disappointing. So Martell ends up saying the reason why he hasn't been able to pick up his kids is because financially he's not doing as well as he was before. And like I told y'all, that has to do a lot with his business dealings. A lot of people don't want to work with Martell anymore. They see him as a liability. Not only have you shown that you're missing a few marbles, but a lot of people don't want to support you, Martell. I hope that you get the help that you need. I don't know. It's hard for me to say that I feel bad for Martell because I don't think that Martell has a real grasp on what is actually happening. So I just want him to get help. Anyway, I just want Mel to continue to protect her heart as well. So Martell says that he can't take the kids. The reason being is because money. And Mel immediately starts crying and she says in her confessional, you never really cared for somebody if you can see them struggle and you're not bothered by it. And that part definitely had me like, damn, that is sad. But anyway, he starts crying. They both start crying and Mel reaches out her hand to comfort Martell. And Martell immediately says, dang, Mel, why are you doing that? And the reason why he did that is because he's like, girl, if you touch my shoulder, I'm going to catch some feelings. Like, you don't want to go there. And that's immediately what I got. So he's like, back up, Mel. And eventually, they go on to the next scene and she ends up saying, you can't sit there and feel bad for yourself. I bust out laughing too. I bust out laughing on this scene too. But my thing is, you can't sit there and feel bad for yourself. You have 5 kids. And I'm glad that Mel is in the headspace that she's in because she didn't allow those tears to stop her from facing the reality of what's actually going on. You have a 5th child. So if you were really concerned about what your finances were looking like, you wouldn't have stepped outside the house and had another 5th child that you couldn't take care of. And like I tell y'all in my other reviews, best piece of advice I heard, have as many children as you can take care of. So Martell, if you knew that you couldn't take care of 5 children on your own, why go have another one? Think about that, okay? So I don't care if your finances are being chopped up. That's on you to go have another child. So I'm just glad that Mel was there to support him, but it is what it is. And another thing I wanted to talk about in their confessionals. In the confessionals, they started I was surprised. Y'all tell me, were y'all surprised to see Mel and Martell in a confessional together? I was. So in the confessional, Mel ends up saying like, yeah, you ask me back every other day. You want your wife and your family back. And Martell ends up saying, I wouldn't utter a word if we didn't have children. And that's also where I'm like, every time I start to feel bad for your ass, I don't. Because you keep trying to say that the only reason why you keep asking for her back is because of the children. The children will be fine. Put them little kids in counseling. There are people who are not together, people who break up every day. So this counseling session is necessary. Counseling for the children are necessary. You don't need to go back to Melody for the children to be okay. So get that out your mind, Martell. Just say you want your damn wife back, just like Mel said. He's so full of it. Yes, yes, Shane, we see each other. We see each other all the way. He can never be vulnerable. And the reason why he can never be vulnerable is because people light his ass up every episode, but he's convinced himself that he can't be the villain. So he's turned himself into victim. So because he's done that, he doesn't want to share as much with the cameras. And I'm like, Martell, I don't understand. I don't think that we ever start out watching a reality show and there are people who we don't want to like. I think you watch these shows, especially Love and Marriage Huntsville, because everything is so organic. These people are so real that you want to root for them. We don't want to see Mel being hurt. So we're rooting for you if you would go ahead and root for yourself. So get yourself in some counseling. But you always want to make it seem like everybody's just coming from Martell. You made your bed, lay in it. Admit to your shit. Crystal ends up saying Carlos requested them to do a joint confessional. He said it on Twitter last night. That man knows how to make good TV. He does. I think it was absolutely necessary. So anyway, the counselor ends the session by saying, no matter what, you guys have to make sure not to lose your team. Even though y'all aren't together, whenever y'all get ready to tell the children that there's a fifth child, you have to be there physically just to say that you agree to the way that things are going down, Mel. Martell refuses to even speak of the fifth child in the counseling session. And I wonder why. I feel like the baby mother of the fifth child actually wouldn't mind being in the limelight. I really think she wouldn't mind, but it would definitely hurt Martell's business dealings even further. So he probably doesn't want to discuss that. But I don't understand why you don't want to discuss this fifth child. Like you said to Mel, you're a father. You're a father to that fifth child. You have to discuss that in combination with the 4 children that you already have in the counseling session, not on Instagram like you did. So after the counseling session is over, Martell wants to thank Mel for telling Chris to talk to Martell, talk to Martell before she decided to move forward with the 47 acres. And Mel ends up saying, oh no, like, that's just how I move. Like, don't start no drama with Chris. Like, it is what it is. And Martell was looking for Mel to be in his corner against Chris, but she very much so made it clear that she didn't believe that Chris was in the wrong. And as soon as that happened, there was a little bit of friction, but I feel like it turned into a little bit of flirtiness. And he was like, I ain't never seen you build a house in your life. And she's like, bye, Martell Hope. Bye, Martell Hope. The way she said his name 2 times and the way she said it just tells me, like, if Martell would have done what he needed to do early on, when the time required of it, you probably still could have had your wife and your family. But now you just have dragged it. You have dragged it. And it's to the point of no return. But I feel like Mel definitely still has love for Martell. Martell has love for Martell. Mel has love for Martell. But Martell has love for Martell. And that's the problem. Thank you for the super chat, R. Marie. R. Marie says the fact that he refuses to speak on the other child proves that the IG post was a dig at Mel. You don't want to discuss your new son any other time. Say it again. Say it again. That's how I was feeling. How do you not want to talk about this fifth child in counseling? However, you are comfortable blasting it on Instagram. And then you're telling people, well, I have to be a father. Well, when you go to counseling, you need to discuss being a father to 5 children instead of 4. Ain't that right? Y'all tell me what y'all think, okay? But that's all I got for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And I am almost done with my glass of champagne. So we right on time, y'all. Yes. Okay. So y'all, like I said at the beginning of the video, we are on the way to 7K. Be sure to like the video up. Your girl is working on merch, stickers, t-shirts. I'm definitely trying to find some wine glasses, y'all. Not just regular glasses, but I'm trying to find wine tumblers. So if y'all know anyone who does print on demand wine tumblers or anyone who I can, work with to make brunch squad tumblers, I would love it because y'all, this Sunday thing, I'm definitely loving. We do the weekend roundup. And then throughout the middle of the week, y'all get my reviews for Married at First Sight. Y'all get my reviews for Encore and other shows like that. There, you can become a member. I think it's an option near the subscribe button, or if you make a comment, it'll say join. If somebody could help Dare with that, that would be cool. But I really appreciate y'all supporting the channel. I hope y'all share this video. Use hashtag brunch at Necey's on social media. Share your favorite clips. Get your friends and family over here. And with that being said, I will see y'all, later on this week. I'm never far. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if y'all want to see me tweeting about the show. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a really great Sunday.